Hi everyone, you're welcome to Respite. My name is Nike and I'd like to welcome you to this channel once again. All right, so if you haven't liked or subscribed to this channel, please do so and share this link with as many people as you think would enjoy or benefit from the things that we share today. All right, so today I decided to do something a little bit different and talk to the people that know carers of children and young people with special needs or neurodiverse kids. All right, so today I decided not to talk to parents or carers of neurodiverse kids, but to talk to the people. And when I say people, I mean friends, I mean family members, I mean colleagues, or someone that just knows that, all right, I know someone that has a child, a nephew, that has special needs. I just thought to just share a video, with you and say one or two things that I think would help the people that are in your lives. Okay, have you ever heard of this phrase? It takes a village to raise a child. Okay, it takes a village to build a support system for the people that are in our lives. Take a good look at, your friends, your family members that have kids with, neurodiverse kids. You'd see that they really, really need your help and support. I know we live in a world whereby everybody's busy, we're doing our own things, life is very fast, it's a fast-paced world. But we need to slow down a little bit and take a good look at those people in our lives that need that help or support. And ask yourself this question: how can I help, or how can I be a support system to this friend of mine, to this sister, to this colleague that has a child with special needs? Okay, I have a colleague that has children. She doesn't even have a child. She has children with special needs. And I think one of the days we were chatting randomly, she mentioned it in our conversation. And I made a mental note to always ask after those kids every time I bumped into her, at work. And I could see that just by me asking, for updates, how are you doing? How are you coping? It does a whole lot to her. And she would always tell me after every conversation, thank you, Nike, for always asking. So it's important that we get involved, in the lives of those people that really, that we know or are in our spaces, and be a support system to them. All right, I just wrote a few things that I think we can do. Just thought to share with you as to what are those things that you can do. All right, but I do know that there are some individuals, friends that we know, family members that might be a bit shy or might be a bit private with their lives and with their affairs. I would not want, people outside, allow me to say that, their circle to be involved in their lives. There's still something that you can do if you are aware. All right, so if you're a believer, or if you believe in God, you can do one thing for them. You can pray for them. Parents and carers of children with special needs, they need a lot of prayers. You can say a prayer for them and just remember them, in your times of prayer. There's another colleague of mine. This one is a more senior colleague that we kind of like have this habit of chatting, early in the morning when we get to work, just to find out how you're doing. And there was a time she shared, some of the issues that were currently going on in her family. Yes, it didn't have anything to do with neurodiversity, but she shared some of the challenges that her, family was going through. And after she had finished sharing, the first thing that just came to my mind was like, okay, do you mind if I say a prayer for these people when I pray? And she paused and looked at me and said, Nike, that's very kind of you. So I asked for the name of that family member, and I remembered. I didn't just tell her I was going to pray for her. I remembered to pray for that person in my times of prayer. And guess what? She saw a miracle in that aspect of her lives. I'm trying not to say too much because, and she got a miracle that she really, really wanted. Okay, so sometimes just saying a prayer, or just, sometimes you don't even have to let them know that you want to say a prayer. But for me, I thought it was important that I let her know then that I was going to, say a word of prayer for her because she needed that extra support. Sometimes you don't have to tell them that you'd pray for them. You can just, in your own way, pray for them. In your own space, pray for them. And just ask that, the support that they need per time, that they would also, they would get that support. Another thing that you can do is to be there for them, to provide a listening ear for them. Sometimes when you are going through stuff, especially when you're caring for children and young people with special needs, it could be very, very demanding. It could be very, very stressful. Stressful in terms of the fact that you have to do extra. You have to maybe take them for therapies. You have to be more patient. You have to be aware of their needs and see how you can support them. So sometimes it can be more demanding. And sometimes these carers just need a place to just, an outlet, to just let out how they feel or what they are going through. You can provide a listening ear to them if they want to talk about it. It is important that we're mindful of people's preferences. There are some friends and family members that we know that might not want us to intrude, or ask questions. But for those that are happy to share, you can ask them questions just to find out, how are you doing? How are you doing? How was it this week? How is, your child? How are they faring? How are they getting on with the sessions? How are they getting on with it? Just ask questions that will lead to them opening up if they need to. The main point I'm trying to drive here is you being there, for them, which is my third point, or third thing I think you can do, is being there for them, offering to help. How can I help? And sometimes when I want to help people, sometimes I don't even know what that person wants. One of the things I've learned to do is to ask them, how can I be of help to you? How can I support you? What do you think I can do to make this journey easier for you? So yes, you can be there for them by asking questions, offering to help. Okay, I can help you do your grocery shopping. I can accompany you to a therapy session. I can just be there for you. And another thing I think, we can do for them is to ask, if we are financially able to, all right, is there anything that you need to pay for? Is there any session that needs to pay for? Is there any assessment that needs to be done? I'm happy to support you. One of the people I spoke to told me recently that, some of the assessments that she had to do for her kids cost her a lot of money here in the UK. And, hearing that just kind of like broke my heart that, okay, how, can we be more involved in the lives of these people? So if you are financially able to do so, ask, okay, can I just give you this £50 this month or £100 next month just to support you, with the bills of the things that you need to sort out where this child is concerned. Every little does help. Every little does help. Let me just leave you with this story before I go. All right, so it's in Matthew 25, verse 31 to 46. It is a long story, so I'm not going to, tell you all the details. But I'm just going to stress verse 1. Okay, let me tell you the background of that story, though. So it talks about a king, talking about the Son of Man. I don't want to go into all that story, but let's just say the Son of Man, talking about God, comes and he wants to separate the good from the bad, the people that, that knew him and had a relationship with him when he was on earth. And the Bible records that when he separated them, he put some on the right and he put some on the left. And he was saying, those that were on the right would go into his, his kingdom, his glory, and will share a lot of good things with him. I'm trying to kind of like butter it off a bit in that, and I was trying to speak in layman terms. And then said, because when I was hungry you fed me, when I was thirsty you gave me water, when I needed clothes you were there for me. And the people on the right were like, when did we do all of this to you, God? As in, we never saw you come to do that. And he said something so interesting that I want to stress in this particular video. He said, whatever you do to the least of one of these brethren, you have done it to me. Wow. Whatever you do to the least of these brethren, you have done it to me. So even though God wasn't there, when that person needed water, but because they were kind to one person, or they offered help to one person, God said, you have done it to me. And the people on the left, he said, no, take them away to destruction. And they were saying, why? Because when I needed help, you were not there. When I was hungry, you didn't feed me. And they were saying, we didn't know. And they say the same thing, because you didn't do this to the list of, of the brethren, or the list of the people, then you haven't done it to me. All right, so this is not a doom and gloom story. It's just to encourage you that when we show kindness to our people in our spaces, we ultimately show kindness to God. That's just the point of what I'm trying to say. So, okay, so I'm not trying to scare you. All right. One of my sisters, one of the core values in our house is kindness. And she would always say to her child, have you been kind today? Did you show kindness to someone? All right. So the point I'm trying to make is this: show kindness to the people in your lives. Show kindness to the carers in your spaces. Show kindness to the people that that they have kids, neurodiverse kids or neurodiverse young people. Show kindness for them. Be there for them. Be present in their lives. Like I stressed before, some people might not want you to get involved, but you can still pray for them. Okay, so I hope you've learned something, too, from today's video. Thank you so much for joining. Please don't forget to like, and if you subscribe, make sure that you hit that bell icon so that you can get notified every time we post a new video. Thank you once again for joining, and we'll see you at the next video. Bye for now.